Welcome to the Amalgam Hour, the movie and comic podcast. I'm Robin.
And I'm Dan.
Today we're reviewing the entirety of Wandavision after just both watching the last finale episode of Wandavision. And first of all, what do you think of it, Dan?
I think it was a solid episode with some, your typical Marvel action and some good story and nice teases. There you
Too
go.
many teases, I reckon. Okay,
Oh,
so my opinion, yeah, which I think is more of a problem with the entirety of the show,
yeah.
is that I found this episode quite disappointing. But I think I wouldn't think that, I reckon, because I think this is a better finale than most of the Netflix shows. Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I only think it's because it's had so much build-up over the past season. You know? And I know I'm instantly jumping into the review of the whole season, but it's like, I think this episode is one of the key... Well, it's not a key problem. I think... Yeah. So, let's talk about this episode
Creating
quickly.
too many ideas.
Yeah. There's too much going on. Because that's what I noticed throughout this episode. It was like... It was a scene which dealt with an issue, yeah? So, one scene... let's say the Pietro one. Or, what was his name? Ralph Boner. Great joke with WandaVision. Hilarious. Like, it dealt with him in like 2 seconds, you know? And there wasn't any... Well, I guess there was like ideas. Not ideas, what's it called? Like, drops of information about him. But I think that one scene is a huge problem in the show. Across the board. You know, because...
Like, similar to the mechanic thing.
What mechanic thing? Yeah, I hated the mechanic thing. First of all, don't put that in your show. Don't tease it for it to be no one, because you know the internet is going to go in an uproar over it, you know? Which it did.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't feel like we can just talk about this finale episode without talking about the entirety of the show itself.
No way.
So let's jump into it. Obviously, spoilers. I'm not recapping the show, because honestly, can't be asked. But, okay. I like the show's story, yeah? I think it's fun.
Unique.
I like how it's taken from a bit of House of M, from the Vision series, about Wanda and Vision as a whole. I think it's distilled their relationship very nicely and made the whole Wiccan and Speedy thing. I'm kind of glad it wasn't Mephisto. I would have loved it because it could have set up things down the line. And I'm glad it wasn't Chthon or Nightmare. But big problem I have was, though, I liked Agatha all the way up, or Agnes, because the mystery of who she was. You know I'm not a fan of last episode's reveal. Or was it the episode before that? Agatha all along?
What? Yeah, episode 7.
I was like iffy on it. Because everyone likes the song, and I only like the woman part of the song. But I didn't like her in this episode as much. I don't think she had as much personality as she did last episode or the episode before that.
She turned into a typical Marvel villain.
Yeah. I feel like if she carried on her personality all the way through, it would have been a lot better of a show.
Yeah, she went from a villain that was unique and different to I just want power.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm glad you gave a motivation, even though we didn't need... Honestly, do you know the whole thing where some... Okay, let's talk about this as well. I think a lot of this show could be cut out entirely. You know?
Could have been a 6-episode series.
I reckon so. Because today's episode with the witches, you know, when she's surrounded by the witches, didn't need that. The episode where they revealed didn't need that. Because you know I hate the explainy episodes, don't you?
Well, like most of last episode.
Yeah, where they just talk to me. And so I'm just going to dive right into how I think it could have been better. Because maybe after I speak about it, I'll come up with an actual, concrete opinion on it. Because I think episode 1, is it 1, 2, and 3? That didn't
Well,
have
it's
any of
just
like the
sitcom.
Jimmy. Yeah, episode 1 and 2 could have been merged together. Take out some of the scenes, take out some of the work scenes, the dinner table stuff. Don't need that. Boom, one episode, and it's like, ooh, this is intriguing. It hasn't really gave me a lot. But I think all the outsider stuff, everyone beyond the barrier, that could have been
Like
woven
Jimmy Woo.
nicely. Yeah, Jimmy Woo. I feel like that could have been woven nicely into maybe episode 1. Maybe leave episode 1 as a merger of episode 1 and 2.
Episode
Take
2
out
is
some
a
of the
merger of
scene.
3 and 4.
Yeah.
With the whole she's having the twins and
And
giving
I
birth.
think that's why this episode and last, and maybe the one before that, I was like, I'm not seeing enough of Jimmy Woo or Monica Rambeau or Darcy. And do you know why I think that? I think I'm only believing that because we'd have episodes where it's just them.
Yeah, we had the one episode where it was only them.
Yeah, but I'm like, if you sprinkled them throughout, then it's clear they're not main characters. Because if you make a character the focus of one episode, they are the main character,
Yeah.
So that's just...
I was perfectly fine with Darcy not being in it much.
Yeah. We all know your opinions of Darcy. I do like Jimmy Woo, and I like how the internet have said, like, make a show about him. Or, like...
Yeah, it'd be a good idea.
That could be a good idea, if they, like, recreated Sword, but not as a weapons specialist, as a, I don't know, supervillain defense force, something like that,
Like, back into the space and dealing with all that.
And I wouldn't mind if, like, Jimmy Woo made an appearance, like, some of the characters from the bad guy from, like, Ant-Man and the Wasp, and Hank Pym could appear in that. Darcy, Monica, Jimmy Woo, people like that. Like Falcon could appear. That could be a cool show. But we're not... That's for theorizing later on at the end of the episode. So, main problem I had with this, characters. I wish the characters were more spaced out and shorter. Because we've discussed this off the podcast. But I think this series is going to be hell to go back and try and watch.
Yeah, especially those earlier episodes.
Yeah, like, I think I'll just skip those first couple episodes, and go straight to episode 4, even though I didn't like the episode.
I'd say those first 4 rely more on intrigue than...
Yeah. And we can do this later on where we're going to rank, like, the Disney Plus shows and stuff. I don't think this is better than, like, a Jessica Jones or a Daredevil Season 1.
The earlier seasons of the Marvel Netflix stuff.
Yeah. And I only
Until
think...
it all got bad.
I only think my brain's trying to tell me to like it is because it's so, like, woven into the MCU now. Which I'm glad.
Yeah.
You know me, I'm going to love these Disney Plus shows. Especially my boy Mooney. But, I hate that the fandom calls him Mooney. That stresses me out.
You literally just called him Boo.
Yeah, but... Sure. So, yeah. I think it's going to be hell to watch this show. Because it only sets up mystery. And then the last 2 episodes are just like, bleh. Just bleh.
Yeah.
Just take it all. First of all...
This series can be split up into 3 sections.
Well, what do you mean?
The first 3 episodes, just intrigue. The first 4 give you a little bit more. A couple answers there and there.
Yeah.
Still in the sitcom thing. And the last 3, which is just answers and finishing up.
We didn't need most of the flashbacks from last episode. The whole thing about her using her magic before she was... what stone is it? Mind?
Mind, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that sets up a question. And it also in that scene it sets up why she uses sitcoms. It's like, okay, whatever. Like, that all makes sense.
It makes sense. It's there to give you background to the show.
But then you also didn't get more of a character out of Quicksilver in that scene, So it could have just been a quick, like, stop in. Like, I feel like this episode could have been woven into the episode before this. You know?
Yeah.
So I think...
Make it like a bit slightly longer, like maybe an hour.
Yeah, I think every episode could be condensed with the one that came before it. Cut some of the stuff out that's not necessary. Because I'm honestly...
All of Darcy.
You really hate Darcy. I thought I was going to hate Monica, but I think that's mostly because of her connection to Captain Marvel. You know?
Yeah.
But...
That's opinions for a later date.
Yeah. Let's talk about them. Like Jimmy Woo, of course, some of his, like, him and Darcy talking I couldn't bear, but you know I don't like comedy in my shows and stuff. That's mostly because I don't find much funny. Especially fucking Darcy from Thor 2. But, Monica, I'm actually quite... I like her character. I would have liked, I quite like Monica as a character. But like I said, I don't think I'd be upset because I don't like what she did, because she didn't do much this episode, did we? Or did she?
No, it was wasn't much with her. She thought Ralph.
Yeah, like she sorted out the whole like Pietro situation, which I'm glad like someone did, you know?
Yeah.
But I thought there was going to be more, because it was literally an entire end credit scene last episode, wasn't it? Or the episode before that.
Episode 7, they didn't, I think, miss it out last week, and then it was sort of nothing this week.
Yeah. So I wish she did more in the end. I don't care much that Jimmy Woo didn't do much, you know? Because I'm like...
The most powerful things they were dealing with, he wouldn't be able
to... Yeah. It's like, well, what is this group going to do? But the fact they gave Monica powers and then didn't give someone for her to fight, you know?
I think it's over good. Because when's the next big Captain Marvel 2, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're probably going to have a bit of learning it with Captain Marvel in that.
Yeah. So let's talk about that end credit scene. Yeah, that's definitely going to be setting up Captain Marvel 2 in it.
So what, the one with the scroll?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine for setting up Captain Marvel 2 or Secret Invasion.
Oh, yeah, that as well. But that's making me think that Nick Fury is going to be in Captain Marvel 2. You know?
Yeah, or at least play a small role.
Because who's in that? It's going to be Captain Marvel, Photon or Monica Rambeau, and Miss Marvel, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. So there's going to be like maybe a trio, a group, a small group. But yeah. Okay, so enough of those characters because they don't effing matter. The whole... I didn't like White Vision. I liked the scene where they were back and forth, you know?
Yeah, where he's learning about who he actually is, the Vision.
Yeah, and I like that idea of it's like, no, if there was two of me, we would literally just have a conversation and then it would be over, you know?
Yeah.
So I like that, but I didn't see any point in it. Because 10 minutes and he was gone.
That he showed up and he just immediately attacked Wanda.
I get, yeah. I think...
Just to show that what he's there to do straight away. No
Yeah. I think the White Vision here is more to set up stuff at a later date. So they can bring back Vision. You know?
Yeah.
And I get...
Because we don't know what happened to him.
Exactly.
And that's unnecessary.
No, like, just nothing happened with him. He
got away and that was it.
He got his memories back from Infinity War onwards. No, backwards. So I'm like, if we ever see him again...
Just Age of Ultron to Infinity War, he got all that back.
Yeah. So technically, if we get him back again, it's not going to be the true Vision, because there's going to be memories, but then Wanda can always give him back, you know, it's like... etc.
He's going to have the memories of it, but because he doesn't have the mind stone, he's not going to have the feelings or anything.
Maybe.
Or emotions.
I don't know. It's all very confusing.
He won't have that care for anyone.
I think he was just put there to set up shit later. And I'm not happy about that.
Yeah.
You know? Because then...
There's a lot of setup in this end of it. But that's the start of a run of things.
But then it leads to people's opinions where they're like, no, I can't watch a Marvel film because it's only like a commercial for the next, you know?
Yeah, they did definitely
It did, but there was a lot of stuff that was like...
Basically Wanda and Vision's relationship.
Yeah. And I wish it was more about the relationship. And I know it sounds weird. I wish there wasn't the whole... Or the gimmick of the sitcom was taken down a little bit. About, take a little bit off from the characters outside the bubble. Or at least give them good pacing throughout the episode. And I think it was kind of odd that Vision went from help all the people in the town to I'm going to side with Wanda and fight them off. You know?
Yeah, towards episode 5 he went off at her.
Yeah. I wish in this episode there was a...
He went exploring in 6. They were away from each other in 7 and 8.
Yeah. I wish there was a scene in this episode where she had to explain to him what was going on. Because he doesn't know about Agnes. You know?
No. He showed up and Agnes was evil.
Yeah. But, like, so has Wanda throughout this entirety of this show. I wish there was a scene where their emotional feud climaxed, you know? Where they both shouted at each other for a minute and Agatha was just on the sidelines laughing. And then Wanda tries to explain herself, bursts into tears or something, and then Vision finally sees why she was trying to do this. Like, he connects to her on a really emotional level. And he says something like, okay, we fight together, but after we're done, it's time to go. And then she, like, looks at him emotionally, and then they both turn at Agatha, and Agatha makes a funny remark, and then they both fight her, you know?
Yeah.
And no...
The White Vision was there just so Wanda and Agatha could have their own thing going on.
Yeah, but you know what I don't know. Because the two villains set up, what's his name? Hayward and Agatha. Hayward got taken out by Darcy. You know? The villain for the show, because he was the villain up until Agatha was revealed, which was only 2 episodes ago. You know? He got taken out by Darcy, the comedic relief.
Yeah, the villain that gets taken out in a funny way.
Because then, all of a sudden, in the final climax, we've got... Oh, I just realised this and I hate it. What's the usual Marvel thing of the villain? Take the hero and make them evil. They did that twice in the same show. White Vision and Agatha. Another evil witch. You know? Oh, I hate that now. I wish...
This is the first time we've actually seen it be the hero be evil.
Yeah, kinda. But I wish...
That's the only different thing, really, there.
Yeah. I would have loved it if, like... Wanda and Vision got over their difficulties. Agatha was too powerful for Scarlet to take her out herself, you know?
Yeah.
So her and Vision have to team up. Monica Rambeau, Wiccan and Speedy take on Sword. So there's 2 separate fights going on. Because at no point did I...
Yeah, it wasn't really much for Sword.
Yeah, and I didn't feel...
It just came in and was all wiped out.
Yeah, I didn't feel like the whole, like, end game, oh, this is a sick fight, you know? And I don't know whether it was the... I think there was something about the camera angles as well. It was very cut and dry. When I reckon it could have been more and closer. Because a lot of the time it was from getting the 2 people in the shot blasting at each other. I like how Agatha was taken down, though. Using her... She used the spells to destroy the spells. There you go. Because I called it, didn't I? Like, the podcast listeners won't know. Like, yeah, 10 seconds, I go, she missed for a reason. I bet she put the ruins on the walls around her. And then it showed it. And I was like, that's good. That's like...
Because you remembered the ruins.
Yeah. It's like, it set it up and then hit it. You know? Like, it did it right.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, Hayward went out like a bitch. You know?
There's got to be more than
Yeah. That's why
some point is something.
bring him back in, like, the sword show or just something. Because now he goes on to the long line of villains that
Wait a minute.
are just nothing.
This takes place before Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
Does that mean, is that why Nick Fury's the director of Stone that?
I didn't even think about that because I forgot all about the post-credits in Spider-Man.
Because he's on the thing and he's like, with all the scrolls, and he's pretty much in charge.
Maybe Captain Marvel 2 will explain that. Maybe it takes place between WandaVision and Spider-Man. You know?
Yeah.
It could do. Because I didn't even think about that, but that maybe they collected him before Spider-Man. And maybe that...
Spider-Man is months after Endgame. This is just a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Which I'm glad, because it wouldn't... It would have been hard to be like, no, Wanda waited an entire year to go and get Vision, you know? And I love the reveal that she didn't have any angry intentions with it, you know? She went there to say goodbye, said goodbye, left, and then had an emotional breakdown.
Yeah.
And you know, I've said this multiple times while watching the episodes. I like Paul Bettany's Vision now. Wanda's grown on me. Like, she actually has a character. Because I've barely watched it. Like, I watched Ages.
Depth to those two.
Yeah, which I'm glad they did. But I'm like, how many times do you have to kill Vision? But I do like the goodbye scene at the end of the episode. Them all going because...
Oh, it's just like a personal scene with them two together.
Yeah, and with Wiccan and stuff, like, they all had an understanding.
They walked out of, like, the kids' room, and, like, Paul Bettany was doing his amazing acting with the tears in his eyes.
Yeah.
Like, we both knew what was going on then.
Yeah, and I'm quite glad that scene happens, because it gives an emotional, like, ending to their arc, you know, of their love story. So why...
That's pretty much the main point of this show.
Yeah, so why have another Vision? You know? You're done with these characters being together now. They got together, had
Paul Bettany still needs a paycheck.
Yeah. They got together, had emotional times with each other, grew as people, had to said goodbye once, but the goodbye was taken away from them because Thanos then came in like a bitch. But then they got to meet back up, they had an argument, and like if they had an argument again in this episode, they got over that argument and then said goodbye in the right way. That's an entire arc, you know? I wish White Vision may have... I wish he wasn't in this last episode. I think it took away from everything. Yeah. Or it was a post-credit scene in this episode, and it was leading up to like an Ultron reveal or something, you know?
Yeah.
Because you know I like Ultron, but I don't think I like this show particularly. Other than its connections to the MCU. It's made me like Wanda and Vision more. It's made me interested in the future.
He's definitely done well.
Yeah. But
okay, moving on now. Second post-credit scene. Which is clearly a Wanda setup.
We're just going to jump right into theorizing now. I think she's going to be the villain in Doctor Strange 2.
Is she going to be the villain? Or a secondary, like, minor villain?
But I feel like you set up this whole arc with her. It's literally like...
It would definitely be a more personal film, Doctor Strange 2, if it was like someone we'd watched all this time and then snap.
Exactly. She's being tempted.
She's got the dark hold.
Yeah, and she's
I don't know
being...
if you noticed what she was speaking, the kid's voices, I think it was.
Oh, was it? Oh, yeah.
I think it was the child's voices. I don't know if it was the twins.
It was probably the twins, like, calling out from her from some fuck knows where place.
They were, like, crying about, like, being dead.
Yeah, which I would. But I would like her to be the villain in Doctor Strange 2. I just would, because you know me, I want an Avengers movie called Avengers Disassembled. House of M meets Disassembled, boom. I would love to see that. So it would be kind of nice if it was like a set of movies. Or like, you watch WandaVision, it shows her turn to villainy. Doctor Strange 2 is her having an explosive, like, outward thing and someone trying to stop her. In that, Doctor Strange fails, saves the multiverse, but fails stopping Wanda. Then the climax is Avengers Disassembled. You know?
There's no multiverse or really anything in this.
Yeah, it's not. Which everyone was saying.
I thought it was going to end with her, like, accidentally breaking the multiverse.
Yeah, but it didn't. You know? Like, it straight up didn't.
I think could have been that.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Easily.
I'm glad he wasn't from the multiverse, because I don't like the multiverse. I don't think it works for movies. Like, yes, I was absolutely bamboozled when I seen Evan Peters play him.
That was just a throw off, because he really is a nobody, I think.
Yeah, he's 100% a nobody. They just...
I think it's because Agatha Harkness just came to town, so she needed somewhere to go to blend in. She just went to that guy.
Yeah, and she was like, oh, I need just a basic white dude to pretend to be Quicksilver, you know? And they did set it up, kind of, where it's like, where's your Sokovian accent? I think they just cast him to get the clout of having Evan Peters and maybe it's Quicksilver from a different multiverse sort of thing, you know? But it wasn't. It straight up 100% wasn't. So that was a random question that wasn't needed to be, like, mentioned, you know?
That was really just for the publicity.
I would have loved it, yeah, if, you know, Monica's pick. If it was the same actor who played him in all the other films, yeah, that would have made the emotions even higher. Because I am literally looking at my brother. And then, do you know Monica was going through papers? I would have loved to seen it. She looks at a picture, and it's a picture of Pietro. And she looks at it, looks at Quicksilver, punches him with photon powers, and then, like, magic comes off of him, and he's just a dude. You know? She's just been making the illusion that he looks like the Quicksilver everyone knows. Do you know what I mean?
I would have maybe preferred it if it was Aaron Taylor-Johnson.
Exactly. Just have it so it was an illusion. I don't like that Evan Peters thing. I like Evan Peters as an actor, but it added another mystery when the real thing should have been about too much on mystery, not enough on emotion, in my opinion. You know? Like, you could have...
There was a lot of mystery that was underwhelming.
Yeah.
That's one of the main things I was disappointed about with that Ralph reveal.
Yeah. And I'm like, that could have been...
It's like, you set up the whole thing with her, like, I have this husband, Ralph, and all whatever.
I think...
And all these, like, references to, like, loads of different things. Referring to Ralph.
If it wasn't Evan Peters...
And then this whole Quicksilver thing as well.
Yeah, if it wasn't Evan Peters, the reveal would have worked better. Because then you're not like, oh no, it would... Oh, I don't get to see Fox Quicksilver in my Marvel films. It would just be, oh, Quicksilver's not really here.
He could still come back as Fox Quicksilver.
Yeah, but now it would just make everything confusing. You know? Because, like, wait a minute, you're... Yeah.
It's like a multiverse character, he could come back.
Yeah, but now, if Wanda ever sees him, he's like, wait a minute, aren't you Ralph Boner? You know?
Yeah. Well, Wanda doesn't know that.
Yeah.
Only Monica knows that.
But I feel like she knows he's fake. Oh, yeah, no, because she knows he's fake because of the whole making...
Agatha told her.
Yeah, that whole Agatha All Along song.
But she never knew about...
Yeah.
Him being Ralph.
Okay, so I don't like the Quicksilver thing of casting a new person. Because for one, I think it takes away from the emotion, and then it's like, it's the whole thing where they put the ruins in, and then later on they use the ruins. You know? You put the Evan Peters Quicksilver in, and then you didn't do anything with Evan Peters Quicksilver. You know? So I'm not happy about...
It was just there for...
I think that's my main problem with the show. Too many questions. Just too many questions, because I can't even say I'm disappointed in the ending. Because I'm like, no, this is a good ending. But if it didn't have...
Yeah.
If it didn't have the Evan Peters thing, if it didn't have, who's this mystery scientist? If Paul Bettany didn't say, there's someone coming into Wandavision at the end of the season, you know? If he didn't say that,
just have a laugh.
If there was no references to Mephisto, you know? Because then...
I wasn't noticed on. That was the internet, I think. Just too many theories, too many high expectations.
No, because there's a couple of things where, like, Agatha, like, she talks about the devil for a sentence. Evan Peters calls them devil children or something, you know?
It's devil spawn.
Yeah.
Spawn.
And I'm like, okay, that could be a good, like, wink and nod to the comic.
Could be how the kids come back.
Yeah, which it might do. Or the multiverse, whatever the hell. But, like...
She's using the Darkholds. Obviously try and bring them back. She's got to be.
Yeah. That's why I'm like, villain of Doctor Strange 2. Or she teams up with Doctor Strange, and then at the end of that film, she gets more magic or more knowledge about it, and then turns against him, you know?
Yeah.
Doing a whole Agatha thing on him. Acting friendly, acting with good intentions. That could be quite fun.
And then messing with him.
Yeah. So the whole...
Because she's gone this whole series, she's pretty much gone through, those stages of grief.
Yeah. But, like, some people...
The last one was acceptance, I know that.
Some people may say, oh yeah, but she won't want her children back because she said goodbye to her in Vision and it was all happy. I would have said yes if it wasn't for that post-credit scene. Whereas, like, there is still something in the back of Wanda's mind being
really
like...
think about Vision because she'd already lost him.
Yeah. But I'm like... Especially because we've got word that...
And Vision said...
Yeah, go on.
wanted to go.
Yeah. But since we've also got rumours that the Young Avengers are going to be in Ant-Man, whatever, you know? That it's like...
They're introducing them slowly.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, you also...
how the kids come back.
It's like... But it's weird how we didn't...
It's not going to be the same actors when they come back.
No. But it's weird how we didn't see them fade away, you know? Like, so they could be like, oh no, right before the thing, Wiccan made a bubble around them, and then him and Speedy quickly went off while the whole thing was fading, you know? They could always do something like that instead of multiverse. Which I hope they do, because I don't like multiverse, but you know. Okay.
She's just going to start creating again, using some really dark magic.
Maybe. Is there any other, like, questions that went on unanswered? Or, like, that didn't even need to be there? Whole thing with Monica, with her powers, that was a whole build-up, and it hasn't been explained or explored, and we haven't got a reaction from Monica about it. You know?
Yeah, because she doesn't really have much on the fandom at the moment.
Yeah, she's just fine with it.
She knows they can help her take on Wanda.
Yeah, but I'm just like, have a reaction about it. Because if all of a sudden I got powers, I'm obviously going to have a reaction. You know?
Yeah.
Where it's just like, oh, craziness is going on. She never explored it with Wu or Darcy or talk to it about Pietro.
When she was going in, something was going to happen to her.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, I wish I got her emotions about it. And then...
Yeah, well, that's probably next Captain Marvel 2.
Yeah.
Or Secret Invasion, one or the other, whichever comes first.
Yeah, probably. And then, what else? White Vision, do not care. Do not care. Howard may return, but I doubt it. You know?
Howard?
Hayward. Forgot his name. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, I'm not feeling it now. Like, I was hyped for it. Like, you know me, I was having like an anxiety attack, like, by episode 7. But that was only because they built up Vision arguing with Wanda. They built it up, and then this episode, they stopped it. Yeah, they
No,
stopped
I'm
it.
not even.
Vision didn't care about the whole world in a bubble by this episode. And he wasn't in the last episode, so the hype from episode 7, where they were going to argue, has fizzled away. You know?
Yeah.
And, yeah. Oh, I wish they would, like...
You gonna get onto what you like, or you're just gonna complain about what you don't?
I don't... I think I've said what I like. I like the show, but I don't know I like the show.
Yes.
You know? What did you like in it? Like, point out some of, like, your main stuff.
Agatha mainly until the last episode.
Yeah.
Interested to see what could happen with her.
Yes.
Left her alive.
Yeah, and I'm like, she is... as soon as she did that...
It seems at the moment they are bringing back characters who have been left alive.
Yeah. And if
Abomination coming back as well.
as soon as Wanda did that, I was like, Wanda is the villain. She just brainwiped a woman and is keeping her captive. You know? I'm like, she's a villain now. That's why I think that's more towards the subtle villainy of Wanda. You know? And the whole thing about...
It's not flat out.
Yeah, the whole thing where if you didn't cast Evan Peters, we wouldn't be talking about her getting her mutant powers. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
And the mutant stuff as well, because I don't get the whole thing where she used her powers before. I don't know if that's just setting up mutants for a later date.
She had very limited powers, and the whole experiment on Hydra set it off.
But I'm just like, oh god, they didn't explain it properly for me, I don't think. Because either make her be a mutant or make her be like what she is now, you know? Don't change her for something completely different, like, oh, you're actually an ancient warlock, blah, 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 blah. You know? I don't...
I can respect the show.
Yeah,
Taking a big swing.
Yeah, I can. And I'm glad they actually did something experimental with
right now, I would prefer...
the MCU.
A lot of the previous films have been pretty safe bets. I prefer to take a big swing and a miss.
Yeah.
A little tiny swing and a hit.
But I don't know if it's a miss. Like, I'm so...
It's not a full miss.
I'm so confused about this show.
I'll actually have time to think about it. And other shows to make me think about what's
Yeah, and where this goes.
actually coming.
But one thing, I think it adds to some of the movies from the earlier films. Age of Ultron adds a tiny bit to that. Explains some of the
I
stuff.
maybe enjoy Ultron a bit more now knowing her past before that.
Yeah, and what other films? Civil War.
Age of Ultron didn't give anything.
Yeah, Civil War, you kind of see how her character goes on.
That relationship between Wandavision was really just chucked in there just because.
I think it takes away from Vision's death in
would have
Infinity
built
War.
it a bit.
Yeah. Do you know his death in Infinity War? I think it takes away from that. You know?
I never really cared much about that in the first place.
I know, I've never cared about Vision. But now I wonder if I go back and watch the films that he's appeared in, will I? Because this is the first time I think I've seen Vision with full emotions. I don't know whether that's like Wanda imprinting on him or whatever.
I think he only had emotions because Wanda created them out of her emotions.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he did. She did kind of explain it, didn't she? Okay. That makes sense. But yeah, I don't know. I'm looking forward. But this whole season, yeah, could have been the beginning of Doctor Strange 2 if she is the villain in that. You know?
Yeah. There's definitely mystery and intrigue there because they haven't just been flat out like she's the massive villain in this. She didn't close the bubble. She wanted everyone to be trapped.
Yeah, there's like subtlety to Wanda, which that's why.
She's like...
If she became a villain, I think people would really enjoy her because she's got subtlety to her.
I feel like what they've done here is what they did with Killmonger and Black Panther, just a lot more dialed down a bit.
Yeah, whereas like...
Because like what he was trying to do in that film was right. People agreed with him. He had a good point.
Yeah, but I think Wanda's more...
He was very forward and going for it.
Wanda's...
What she's doing, like, you couldn't say you wouldn't do it.
Yeah, that's what... Like, Killmonger's like, well, he's right. And Wanda's like, she's kind like... You feel bad for her,
Like,
which I get.
She's lost everything. You couldn't blame someone for wanting to get it back.
Yeah. And then she's lost even more because now Wiccan and Speedy's gone. She got reminded of her brother, even though it technically wasn't.
From doing it.
Yeah. Which I feel bad for Wanda in that. And I do like Wanda now. I like her as a character. I didn't in the other films because I did not care.
I've always sort of liked her.
Yeah. But I literally don't know whether I like this show or not. I like the connection to the MCU.
I've had enjoyment out of it. I've enjoyed the journey.
Yeah, like probably the most fun thing is like watching it with you and like having a mini panic attack mid-episode. Just because.
It's like watching this series, I've been more excited going into each episode than I have probably any other show I've watched.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, but it didn't pay it off. If it didn't set up a lot of the questions, like if we didn't think at all that Mephisto was going to appear, or that the X-Men may appear, or that a huge cameo was going to appear, you know? I think we'd watch this and go, yeah, it was a pretty good episode.
I read the interview, I think it was the showrunner or the writer did.
Yeah.
And he did say before this, some of the theories are so wild that a few people are going to be disappointed with the show.
But they were all theories based on possible things that they specifically put in there. The lines about the devil, bringing Evan Peters. Of course we theorise that maybe he's the Evan Peters from that universe, you know?
But the MCU's gotten so big and wild now.
I just wish that they didn't put half of these. Yeah. I wish they didn't put half of the references and winks and nods. So then people wouldn't make videos about it. And then I wouldn't overhype.
Always gonna have the references and winks and nods.
Yeah, but you didn't have to bring Evan Peters, you know?
Yeah.
It would have been funnier if it was the original actor who played Quicksilver. Photon removes the magic, or Wanda does, or Agatha does, and it's Evan Peters underneath the illusion. Then he falls and goes, oh, where's my wife? You get what I mean? And then it's a quick blink and you'll miss it scene, and then you turn away, you know?
Yeah.
But the fact that he was in it as a main character, of course we're going to think mutants. Of course we're going to think multiverse.
I think that the guy who played the original Quicksilver almost left acting because he's not doing much.
Yeah. I'm sure he's doing like
much since Age of Ultron.
I'm sure he's doing like indie stuff. But yeah. But it's like you could have got him back with Marvel's money. You didn't have to bring in Evan Peters. And I'm not happy they did. Because it overhyped the show to the point of like making the episode fail. You know? It's literally like in comics when people are like, when writers and stuff are like, this event will change the entire Marvel universe forever. And it's like, and then you read it and it's like, no. You know? That's what it reminds me of. Overhype and then not delivering on it. Which I do think is like the fans' fault and stuff. That it was overhyped. Because we were...
There have been theories that have been too wild and making too many assumptions of what could happen and overhyping everything.
Yeah. I wish...
This show would have worked better if it was dropped all at once.
Maybe.
Not that time to think about it, build all these theories, over-exaggerate what you think could happen, get overhyped. It was all at once, you could watch through it all.
Yeah, and then it also...
You'd get ideas while going through it all.
But then I think if it did that...
And you got to the end and it'd be like...
Yeah. But I think if you binged it, the episodes that drag, you would hate. You know? Like last episode, the Explain the episode, and I think it's episode 4. Like, you would hate them if they were released all at once.
Talking nothing really.
Yeah. So, what do I like this show? I like the characters. I hope Agatha comes back.
I like it more maybe in about 5 years where we've had everything.
Yeah. Which I don't think is a good show. Do you get what I mean? If I have to wait to get an opinion...
Right now, I can look back on like the first Iron Man film and enjoy it more because I know where
That's interesting. I do the opposite with Iron Man, but okay. You know my opinions on Iron Man.
Because I wasn't really a big fan of the first Iron Man film, but we'll get to that later date.
Yeah. Well, we'll definitely rank all the MCU, including this show, maybe, or we'll do like a Disney Plus rank show. What we should do, the first load that.
Keep this. This is basically a long movie. To watch yours together is a long movie.
Or, like I said the other day, use the same tier list, but when Loki, Winter Falcon, and WandaVision... Fuck it, that's the name of it now. When all those three come out, we do a combined ranking of all those. And then when Miss Marvel, She-Hulk, and...
At the end of the year when there's about 7 different shows.
No, I was thinking just those 3 shows. Because those are the only ones we've got trailers for now.
After Loki finishes, like July time.
After, yeah, we'll do a review of Loki. And then after that, we'll rank all 3 of them. And then when Miss Marvel, She-Hulk, and Moon Knight comes out, we rank them, comparing them to the other 3 we've done. So do it in groups of 3. So it's... Do you get what I mean?
Is What If going to be included in that list?
Oh, yeah, and... No, I think we should keep it, like, to the MCU
so,
stuff.
Different and wild and weird.
But I'm glad this show has been experimental with it. You know?
Yeah.
Because I think that would be the only reason to go back and watch it, is to be... But then I also don't like the sitcom stuff. I like and don't like it. You know?
I was skeptical of the idea, but I'm not a big sitcom lover.
Yeah.
So
I was skeptical.
If you love the sitcoms, you're gonna like go through it. You're gonna love all the nods and the references and everything.
Yeah. Like the only one I knew was like the Malcolm in the Middle stuff and like early 2000s like teen stuff. But
I know the names of the stuff, but I didn't get any of the references because I don't watch them.
I like the idea because I was like, oh, that's interesting. But the fact we only got that for 3 episodes, you know, it's like there's a reason I don't watch sitcoms.
I wanted it to be over quicker than it was.
What do you mean, the whole sitcom stuff?
Yeah, I wanted that to be over quite quick because like it was getting to like episode 7 and they were still doing the sitcom stuff.
I would have been okay if it was the background for the episodes. Like it wasn't truly the focus. Like the focus, what was going on outside, and like Vision trying to break out and Wanda's emotions and that sort of thing. You know? Because we didn't get how...
That's why I don't like episode 7.
Which one was episode 7? What happened in there?
Episode 7 was the one where it was like Vision and Darcy together and the actor reveal.
Yeah. I think...
Because like, they're trying to tell that story whilst also still doing the sitcoms and speaking to the camera and...
Yeah. I think if... My main problem is they didn't do the emotions enough. Emotions and the
not
two...
enough, like emotional, like with Vision shouting at you.
The emotions and then overhyping. That's my 2 main problems. Because in those first couple of episodes, we didn't get any emotions out of Wanda, you know?
Yeah, it was just, this is what we're doing, have fun.
Exactly. All it did was set up the world. It was a sitcom. The first couple of episodes was a sitcom. And I get people, like, lots of people have been like, yeah, that's why I don't watch it. I'm like, if it was shorter...
I understood the hate at the start.
Yeah. If the first episode was a sitcom, but it set up the helicopter, set up the radio, or... I wish all the outside the bubble stuff was edited nicely into the show. You know? Because then it also wouldn't be like, who's on the radio? Because we know it was Jimmy Woo from outside, you know?
Yeah.
So, what do you reckon your main problem with this show is? Well, you said you like it, but I do like it. Gotta get that straight.
There is some definitely disappointing moments.
Yeah. I think this could have been a really good character study of Wanda. But it wasn't, because it had too many flashy things to do. Like, oh yeah, the sitcom aesthetic, the blur. Do you get what I mean?
This could have been better if Vision wasn't dead and they didn't have to do the bubble.
Maybe. Or like, maybe it wasn't sitcom, but the people around were still clearly controlled. You know?
Yeah.
And Vision, for some reason, doesn't know about his past, doesn't know that he's dead, etc.
Like, she's wanted this perfect life or whatever, and she's like accidentally manipulated an area, but it's not this huge bubble. We don't have to deal with like Sword trying to get in and everything.
Yeah. It's all very finicky, you know?
Yeah.
So what do I... Oh, I keep going back. What do I like? I like Wanda, like Vision, like where this is going. That's it, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I do like some of the art.
But the next thing's got nothing to do with this, so...
Yeah. By the way, as like a fan of the artistry, graphic design, all of that, I love the intros. I love the like style of having the black and white, and then the next episode having really vivid colours and that. And I like the outfits in the show, like the Halloween episode. Like I'm like, that's fun, you know.
It's definitely given what Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany like a chance to show that they are good actors.
Exactly, and I'm kind of glad that they did get this. Like every character in the MCU should have their own thing. That's why I'm glad the original Avengers, they're all gonna have stuff. Hawkeye show, Black Widow movie. There you go. All of them to shine, not be like a character on the sideline.
It was just his Iron Man, his Captain America, his Thor.
Yeah. Ugh.
Hulk on a leaf.
Yeah. Yeah. Hulk, that's some Universal's problem. I wish...
Yeah, well, he just doing his own things for other people.
Yeah. Which I'm not happy about, but we're not. This is a Wandavision review, Dan. Jesus Christ. And
One thing, we have mentioned that I wasn't really liked about the show.
Well,
is that Wanda, she's got all this, she's obviously lost everything.
yeah.
But the Avengers movies have shown like the really good like friendships, like father figure and everything she has with Hawkeye and Cap.
Yeah, they weren't mentioned
Where are
or
they?
anything.
Like they were clearly like father figures to her.
That would have been fun if like Hawkeye turned up as one of Jimmy Woo's people that he called in, you know? Or something.
Yeah.
Just anything.
Is Cap still like illegal?
I don't know. It's all very confusing, and it's all like, what will happen next in Marvel? Even though I'd rather not have the White Vision stuff and then having a full show, you know?
Yeah.
I wonder if you didn't think about the entirety of the MCU, is this a better show because of it? You know? Like, imagine if...
I've watched a video of someone reacting to this who's never seen any of the MCU, and I've never seen someone more confused in my life.
Yeah, I get that. But, like, if you weren't thinking, where would this go? You know? But then because of White Vision, you have to.
This was going to be the end.
Because of White Vision and the end credit scene, you have to think about it in the terms of the entirety of the MCU.
I think the Vision stuff maybe worked a little bit better because we didn't know if he was going to have anything past this.
I'm on about
The intrigue around Vision.
I'm on about White Vision. You know?
White Vision, God knows what could happen with him.
Because when he was saying goodbye at the end of the episode, I think that would have hit harder if I knew there wasn't another Vision out there. You know?
Yeah, that relationship's done now. Like, she's got to move on from that.
Hopefully,
She's
because...
got to find another toaster.
Yeah. I reckon by the time the next Avengers movie comes out, it's going to be like, oh yeah, White Vision is on the team, and he has no emotions, but he does have the memory. And then Wanda goes, nope, kills everyone. There you go. There's Avengers 17. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Main problem...
Maybe to me in the next Avengers movie with like White Vision and he's got no emotions, so he just goes out of control in like a battle or something.
Maybe. Okay.
Because the scope very close to the thing.
Is it? Oh, God.
Yeah. You have to be a registered superhero.
Oh, I wonder how Moon Knight's going to feel about that.
Not stopped anybody.
I know. Yeah, but with Moon Knight, who do you put the ID for? Mark Spector, Jake Lockley, Stephen Grant? No.
Yeah, I'd like to see them try and stop him.
Yeah, go on.
Just like to see like some random general guy walk up and try and arrest him and get his ass handed to him.
Yeah. Or actually beat him up and it'd be quite funny.
You'd be pissed.
I would laugh. Because I also think Moon Knight's an idiot. But this isn't the Moon Knight podcast. That's someone else's podcast. And it's also other topics we can do. I think we're wrapping to the end now. Do you have any final points? Because I truly don't.
Yeah, Wanda's on the run and they're going to try and arrest her.
Maybe. But, like, she's in a little hut. And that gave me Thanos vibes at the end of Infinity War.
I was going to say, like, Incredible Hulk vibes at the end.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, maybe. Yeah. Why did they do that with all their characters?
He goes and just lives in a hut.
Why do all these characters just go and live in huts? Is that like your final resting place? You're like, oh, I've done something really bad in my life. I'll go live in a hut now. You know?
Yeah, I've just held an entire town hostage for 2 months. Goodbye, I'm going to go live in a hut.
The next time I step on an ant, I'm going to be like, oh, got to go live in a hut now. See you all, family. I'll be back in a year. Or I'll create, like, I'll be the next villain. Who knows? Or I'll get my head decapitated off by Thor and Captain Marvel. Oh yeah, by the way, Scarlet Witch is the strongest Avenger.
No doubt about it. Anyone, I do not care. Anyone says Captain Marvel.
I know. It's like, yeah, but what if Captain Marvel just tried to, like, could just hit her? I'm like, Captain Marvel comes close, she's gonna brainwipe Captain Marvel into thinking she's a circus clown. You know?
Thanos, in Endgame, yeah, Thanos almost killed the entire battlefield because Scarlet Witch got too close.
I know.
He took Captain Marvel out like he was... I know he had an Infinity Stone, but he took her out like it was nothing.
Yeah. Ugh.
And he was tossing her about.
And, because...
She had him pinned.
Who would win in a fight, Captain Marvel or Doctor Strange?
Doctor Strange.
And Scarlet Witch is stronger than Doctor Strange. Literally said it in the middle of this episode. Blah, 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 Sorcerer Supreme. One question. Where is Doctor Strange? Imagine how much... Yeah. Imagine how much magic is being concentrated right now. Just in that one town. You know?
Yeah.
And he's meant to, like...
That's the one part with the show. Like, essentially the whole way going through, like, Doctor Strange, like, what are you doing? Why are you not noticing this?
Maybe in Doctor Strange 2 they'll give it a reason, you know?
Oh, like, yeah, because it's probably a huge mess with everything after, like, everyone's been gone for 5 years.
Yeah. Or maybe, this would be sick, if the start of Doctor Strange 2, he was fighting like Chthon or like a demon, and his line is, or like, paranormal something or nothing, and he's like, not all organic, like, half of everything got wiped out of existence. Half the demons got wiped out of existence. Demons created more demons to fill the gap, and now there's 2 times the demons, you know? And that's the reason, like, that, like, the snap also brung paranormal stuff into a mess.
It could just be either Wanda there, she can deal with it.
Yeah, maybe. So...
Not realising that she was actually what was causing it.
So we'll may do another podcast next week, but the one after that, the week after next is going to be the Falcon and Winter Soldier, innit?
Yeah, 2 weeks Falcon and Winter Soldier.
That's going to be nothing like this show.
That's going to be more action, like...
I hope it's more Winter Soldier-y.
More like a Captain America movie, probably.
Yeah, I hope it's very Winter Soldier-like. You know?
Yeah.
But I like that how it's like, oh yeah, Marvel can still do any genre. And they can do even more now, because now they've got shows which could explore more. Because I hope...
Like, with Falcon and Winter Soldier, we're going from a trippy show about, like, creating bubbles and trauma and grief.
Yeah. And magic.
To, like, it's action, spy, thriller.
And then Loki is going to be a globe-hopping adventure. Yeah, exactly. And then I hope She-Hulk is...
Gonna be, you know, a movie.
Yeah. I hope She-Hulk is a lawyer series. You know?
Yeah.
Like...
Because Abomination in this, there might be a bit of action.
Yeah, it's got to be action. But, like... And then I hope Moon Knight is a dark, gothic, like, series that deals with, like, mental illness. What?
It's gonna be Indiana Jones, like.
Oh, F off, Kevin Feige. That's just my personal opinions. So are we all done? This will be about an hour now.
Yeah.
So there you go. WandaVision review. What did you think about it? Blah, 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 blah. Subscribe, whatever. And then, final... Yeah. Final thought. WandaVision looks great in her outfit. A little bit over-designed. But that's another podcast video.
The Scarlet Witch full outfit.
Yeah. And I hate that line, by the way. And that makes you the Scarlet Witch. I'm like, okay. We get it. But there you go. End of the video. Yeah. End of the podcast, Dan?
Yeah, goodbye.
Goodbye.